What's going on, everybody? This is Blockchain Bullz, and today we're going to talk about the rise of Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin SV. So if you're new to Blockchain Bullz, you can subscribe and keep up with us. We got lots of content. We keep them coming over here. So lock horns with us and let's get this done. So here we go. We got Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, right? Everything's kind of down over the last hour, except for Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin SV. And if you look at the last 24 hours, you can see these two coins are the big movers, in particular Bitcoin SV. So that's Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, probably two of the most hated projects in all of cryptocurrency, but they will make you money, and that's why we're making this video. You will see in the comments of this video lots of people who are going to hate. You will see lots of down likes on a video like this. They just simply see the word Bitcoin SV, Bitcoin Cash, and they automatically hit the down like button. That's how much these coins are disliked. But because many people who are new to cryptocurrency want to understand cryptocurrency and what's going on here, that's why we make these videos. So we'll talk about Bitcoin Cash and we'll also talk about Bitcoin SV first. So when it comes to what's going on with this project here, you need to first understand what Bitcoin SV is. So Bitcoin Satoshi Vision. So it was created to maintain the integrity of the Bitcoin public ledger by reverting back to the original Bitcoin protocol. The reason it's called Satoshi's Vision is because Craig Wright, the man who calls himself Satoshi Nakamoto, or the man who says that he led the team of developers who built Bitcoin originally, he's the guy who's behind Bitcoin Satoshi Vision. They actually used to be friends with Bitcoin Cash, Roger Ver and Jihan Wu, but they parted ways. They had a difference, and now you have two different coins that are also forked off of the original Bitcoin. So basically you have three formats or three styles of what the original Bitcoin was supposed to be. Bitcoin, the original one, BTC, Bitcoin Cash, and now you also have Bitcoin Satoshi Vision. You have a few other hard forks, but these are the big three. So this one being led by the guy who calls himself the original Satoshi, saying he wants to get back to the original Bitcoin protocol. So Bitcoin SV will maintain the vision set out by Satoshi Nakamoto's Visionary 2008 white paper titled Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. So here's what Bitcoin's Satoshi Vision sets out to do. Scaling network systems and developing robust mining client software in order to accommodate global demand for ledger space. So they're still trying to do proof of work in a day and age where proof of stake is really popular, allowing a distributed small world network to form at the center of Mandela network, connecting billions of people through their devices, elevating miners into their role as service provider. So they believe that proof of work is really important to call it a backing or a value installed into the network. That's why they're really big into these miners. Generating an on-chain economic activity sufficient to allow transaction fees to supplement or supplant block subsidies as their primary funding mechanism, driving a culture of using transaction fees to price transaction as a service. Leveraging economic incentives to build network security, allowing the Bitcoin network to become a global infrastructure platform for financial and information exchange processes. So you can see here the segregated witness, the change from BTC to BCH. In case you guys don't know what SegWit is, basically it is a name that is used for implementing soft fork change to transaction format of Bitcoin. So the formal title, Segregated Witness Consensus Layer, had Bitcoin Improvement Protocol, BIP 141. The declared purpose was to prevent non-intentional Bitcoin transaction malleability, allow optional data transmission, and to bypass certain protocol restrictions such as the block size limit with the soft fork. So it was also intended to mitigate blockchain size limitation problem that reduces Bitcoin transaction speed. So with Bitcoin being so slow, Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, they've always said, well, we need to make this faster. And they say that they have the answer. And that's what basically the use case here is for faster transaction speed. That's what Bitcoin Satoshi Vision is really saying. and they really want to keep the cost down and all that. Now, when I actually take a look here on Twitter, you can see Twitch. So these guys right here were tweeting about Bitcoin SV, and they were saying, wait till Visa realizes BSV does 50,000 transactions per second and they can save trillions by adopting it. So you can see they're out here pumping it up and putting this out there. You also have several other comments being made across the internet and Twitter about Bitcoin SV. And there is a very small community of people in Bitcoin SV, but they're convinced that this is going to take over the entire market. But, you know, again, that's just FOMO, and that's a community doing what everyone else does, like XRP does, the Bitcoin Maximalist does, the Ethereum crowd, the Cardano army, the XLM army. They all believe in the project they're investing in, right? So if we just take a look here at the actual price action and what is, you know, to be expected with something like Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, first thing you want to know is what's the highest it's ever been? Like where was this thing at its all-time highs? And you could see it's really kind of approaching an all-time high for the first time ever. 367 was the highest it was. So it's really starting to enter into what has long been anticipated by the guys in the Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, community, where they've said this thing's going to be massive. And you also have to keep in mind when Bitcoin SV pumps, it could be because someone in the Bitcoin original circle could be selling Bitcoin, kind of holding it out for like 1 to 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden they just come in with a ton of capital into Bitcoin SV. But what you're really looking for is not that. You're looking for the investment to come in from someone like Visa or come in from some of these institutional investors into Bitcoin SV if you're going to put money into this. And if and when that happens, and if this tech is really superior, that's going to be interesting. And if you look here on CoinGeek, they're saying, Retosa Summit, Bitcoin SV enables better data management for enterprises. So, you can say all you want about Craig Wright, and I mean, most people would say the guy's not a very likable guy, and he will tell you straight up, he doesn't care if you like him or not. He only cares about whether or not the product, the tech, is good. And so he's one of those guys who really dives into he's a tough talker. He's not here to play games, and he does not care if you like him. But I've listened to a couple of his lectures. He's actually a really intelligent guy. He's one of those guys that you'll listen to, and sometimes, like Vitalik, for example, you listen to both those guys and they kind of talk over your head. But if you can actually understand some of the stuff they're saying, you realize, wow, it's pretty big. And this end chain here is something that you would also want to keep an eye on, because that's what's basically behind Bitcoin Satoshi Vision. So end chain, the focus enabling enterprise clients to build on the Bitcoin blockchain. So again, that's what you're investing in with Bitcoin SV. A lot of people new to cryptocurrency don't understand why they had to do these hard forks, what they're coming in for, why there was a divide in the Bitcoin original network. And I think at the end of the day, Bitcoin SV ends up in a really good situation, because if you look at Bitcoin, the original one, it's slow. They've had to add lots of layers onto it. Yes, it has the original name to it and everything, but when it comes to the actual transaction speeds, the cost of the network transactions, all these things with Lightning Network, and the amount of coins that have been lost over the years, something like Bitcoin SV is like basically like clean slate Bitcoin. It's like Bitcoin with a clean slate. And so it's even a more modern version of what Bitcoin is. So at the end of the day, it kind of ends up working out in their favor. Now, like I said, you're going to get a lot of hate. I'm going to get a lot of hate for saying that, because that's like not something that people want to hear in the Bitcoin community. But it's kind of like the more you know about what's going on, the more you get the idea of why the forks happen and what makes this Bitcoin SV so interesting. It is the transaction speed that Bitcoin doesn't have. So whether you agree that Craig Wright is Satoshi Nakamoto, that's neither here or there. Again, I don't bring feelings or emotions into it. I'm just investing in tech. So, right, that's the whole thing I'm here for. I'm not here for the Arizona Cardinals or the New England Patriots. I'm not a fan. I'm here for the tech and to increase my investment capital, right? So when it comes to Bitcoin Cash, same kind of deal. We made a video on this the other day, but you could see it's also seeing a price rise. This one's on PayPal. I mean, this is going to benefit from the whole PayPal network effect. It's been as high as 4,355, sitting at 502. I mean, a lot of people were accumulating around these prices and they thought it was a good price back around 1,700 in May 2018. So sitting here, just under $500 here today. I mean, that's like, and it's on PayPal. Whether you hate it or like it, that's just where the gains are going to be, is something like Bitcoin Cash. But people hate this one because they think it's centralized to Chinese miners with Bitmain and Roger Ver. Again, not very likable people. You have these people who are just not likable people in these projects, and that's why they get so much flack, is because of the people behind it. They think it's centralized, and at the end of the day, people don't want centralized currencies. So Bitcoin Cash needs to prove that it's decentralized. Bitcoin SV, they need to prove they're decentralized, but they'll tell you they don't really care what you want because they're going to build the tech how they want. So it's really interesting when it comes to these prices, but or these investments. Actually, Bitcoin SV is much harder to get than Bitcoin Cash. In fact, the one place that I would say you could probably pick up Bitcoin SV that was the easiest is Bittrex. You could see a lot of these exchanges are out of the country, but Bittrex is pretty much the only one that I know of that is in the United States where you can actually get it. I think you can also buy it on Robinhood, but you won't own your private key. I'll put a link in the description to both Robinhood and Bittrex if you guys wanted to take a look at Bitcoin SV. Just be aware that right now it's currently on a pump, and that's never really a good time to buy. But if you take a long-term perspective to something like this, it could work out to your advantage, But whenever you see something like this, just a meteoric pump, it usually is followed by a dump. I mean, we've seen Bitcoin SV make some pretty big moves even here in 2020, going up to 365 and then just kind of just dumping. And when it dumped in March, went down to 116. So let me know what you guys think of Bitcoin SV, Bitcoin Cash. I realize a lot of you guys watch this video really hate these projects, and I understand why, but at the end of the day, it's all about the technology and then the investment opportunity. Whether your feelings about the people and behind the project are there or not, it doesn't really matter, right? So we'll see what you guys have to say. I look forward to reading these comments, even the hate. So drop a comment, subscribe to Blockchain Bullz, and we'll see you on the next one.